William Michael Forbes, and I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today I have Lord Metatron with me. We're going to be discussing exploring dimensions. And it's very interesting what he has to say about exploring dimensions from the perspective of an ascended being versus the perspective of a human being that thinks they are a human being. And we're going to get into that shortly. But it's a beautiful, balmy minus 12 degrees here in Toronto. And I went out for a beautiful grounding walk this morning. And I got to say, it's an amazing time to be alive on this planet. There are so many changes going on that most people are completely unaware of. And I'm just going to take a moment, and if you're just coming on live now, please take a moment to share this video out with others. Remember to subscribe if you like the content. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get reminders when I go live again. Hello from South Africa. And I'm just going to share this out to a couple of places I'd like to share it out to. Yeah, exploring other dimensions. You know, he came in this morning while I was grabbing a shower, and he started, I was thinking about different places to go in consciousness and how we can live beyond the body, how we can actually get there. And he said, most people do not understand, nor can they conceive of how to reach other dimensions because they're so attached to believing that the physical dimension is the only experience of being available to them. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, that's pretty powerful stuff when you think about it. Most people, and this is where a lot of people get confused, is they, thank you. There we go. There we go. Most people don't understand. We deal, as humans in this material world, we deal fundamentally with 4 dimensions that we can be consciously aware of. Most people are only aware of the first 2. And most people are only aware of those first 2 dimensions in a very limited way. But I'll say the 4 dimensions out right now. That's body, mind, emotion, and awareness. Those are the 4 dimensions that we can be connected to. And again, most people are lost in the first dimension, which is body, and believe that the body is who they are. And this is simply not true. And a lot of you, he says, try to explore these alternate dimensions beyond the first 4. And there's many dimensions beyond the 4 that we can be aware of, but it requires that we understand how we are not bound by matter, time, and space, and the energies that make it up. And until you have that awareness, you're going to be playing around with dimensions of energy on this physical plane that are based in polarity: good, bad, up, down, right, wrong. And he says most people think that that this is where all the dimensions are. They're not. All dimensions exist simultaneously in the present moment, but you need to know how to shift your perceptual apparatus from what you normally perceive reality to be, from your senses or from your mind or from your energy. You need to step beyond what you are familiar with to begin to experience, to begin to explore these alternate dimensions. He says most people are so caught up in the fantasies that they make up in their mind based on this reality that they are actually manufacturing conditions and experiences based on the frameworks of pleasure and pain. And yet the dimensions beyond matter, the dimensions beyond mind, the dimensions beyond energy as we understand it. And he's really clear about this. Energy as we understand it, as emotion, which is energy in motion, works fundamentally on this dimension, but it is not causative. It is an effect of alternate dimensions which you can access. And when he says you, he means your awareness. Your awareness is the point from which you can begin to actually access alternate dimensional realities. You cannot access alternate dimensional realities from body. Although, he says, you can train your awareness to perceive alternate realities, and your mind and body can actually pick up these different dimensional energies, different beings physically in this realm, sight, sounds, colors, touch, taste, that the brain interprets these other dimensions in the way it can, but that your body and your mind can get encaptured in polarizing these different perceptions of multiple dimensions, and without an understanding of the distinction between who you have been conditioned to think you are in this realm and what you actually are, you can enmesh different realities that don't actually exist here, but you can fabricate them as if they actually exist. What do you mean by that? So we can concoct ideas and information about, about what we can imagine here, and we can imagine things here, and what we imagine here can become an experiential reality. But he says, different dimensions beyond what you know, you have to be able to move beyond what you know to know the dimensions beyond what you know. You cannot fully understand or grasp the relationship that you have with these other dimensions until you understand how to differentiate yourself from this one as awareness. From this one as awareness. So most people are stuck as the body. This is who I am. That's most people think, this is who I am. I'm John Smith, and I'm 5'12", and I'm from this country, and most people function on the belief, the idea that this is who they are. And this is just one dimension of what you can experience as a reality. And again, conventions, today's conventions are still fraught with the fundamental belief that your reality consists only of this physical realm, and that when those around you that begin to explore and bring through information from these other realms can be considered suspect or suspicious or have difficulty in comprehending reality, you might think of them as being psychologically unstable or psychotic because they are perceiving a reality beyond the framework of what you know. And as a body, that perception outside of what you know is scary and fearful for you. And it's really very true. You know, when if Master Jesus were to suddenly manifest his physical being right in front of you right now, most people would get shocked and terrified, because that conception that there's nothing there and something that suddenly appears is just totally foreign to the body self. The body self believes that this is the only real reality, that this plant, you know, the smells, the sounds, the sights, is the only reality. The vast majority of the people on this planet that are in this experience believe that the body is the experience of the self and the only experience of the self. And yet there's 1 billion people on the planet today awakening to this reality that my body is an instrument through which I express energy. It does not define who I am, I define what it is. And we're starting to see a shift in conventional psychology, philosophy, theology, where they're beginning to understand that matter is a manifestation of energy and consciousness interacting with itself to produce different extensions of that energy of these different levels. The body, once you understand how to put your body aside, once you understand how to differentiate between your thoughts, once you understand how to quiet your energy to make it still and be the awareness that is simply aware, at that point in consciousness, you may begin to readily and easily not only experience other dimensions, but you also move yourself into the position where you can bring or bridge dimensional information into this realm, which is what brings forth many of the changes and advancements that you see in your material realm, like you call technology. and you wonder where these things came from. Well, they came from another dimension of awareness that you can move to as awareness. And those of you that bring these wonderful new creations into this material world have learned how to move beyond this realm and access ideas and information that aren't contained herein. When you can get your body still, and you can get your mind quiet and your emotions peaceful so that you are aware, then you may begin to experience and explore other dimensional realities of consciousness, but not before then. Not before then. And it's a fascinating thing. Yeah. A lot of you, he says, are working with these geometric symbols. He said geometry is a very powerful tool for breaking free of the constructed reality of the organic world exclusively. For geometry does not come specifically, highly organized geometry does not come from the material world alone, although it is responsible for organizing many of the conditions that you perceive in this material realm, which is why so many of you can find common denominators in the geometric symmetry of different life forms on this planet, and how they can have many commonalities between them, even though the forms are uniquely and completely different, which is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you. Let me just go over here. Good morning. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Inshira. Wow, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, just seeing what's happening here. So yeah, really understanding, exploring dimensions is a very exciting way to begin to bring new realities into this physical dimension. You know, everybody, where did airplanes come from? You know, and people say it was conceived in the mind. Where did our mind come from? How did we get our first thoughts? How did thought come into being in this physical dimension? You know, and scientists and anthropologists, have many different stories about how thought began to emerge in the manifestation of the physical realm. And yet, in reality, the physical realm is a manifestation of thought. Please understand this. Your material world is a manifestation of thought. And that thought did not originate with matter, although matter became an extension of thought. Yes, there's a wonderful little video on YouTube you can watch on sound organizing sand. You can go on YouTube and search sound organizing sand, and you'll see how frequency, which is not physical, like these sound waves that I'm speaking, come out from the mouth, and this frequency goes out. You can't see that wave, but you can perceive that wave with your ears, the sound wave of my voice. But you cannot see it with your eyes, but you can hear it with your ears. But you can't actually see it. You could feel it if the amplitude of the sound is strong enough. You can actually feel it on the body. But he wants to communicate that you must understand that matter is an effect of an alteration in the vibrational organization of certain molecular potentials. Certain molecular potentials. And that you, when you come to know that you are a generator of frequency, a generator of qualities of energy, utilizing the combination of awareness, emotion, thought, and observing their interaction with matter, you come to an understanding of your own creative process and how you can begin to change this realm and liberate yourself from it. For then you begin to wonder, well, if I am creating this realm, then where am I creating this realm from? You cannot have an effect without a cause, nor a cause without an effect. And so what causes your awareness to be as it is aware? What causes your thought to be what they are as you are aware of them? And what is it that causes the actions of your body as you are aware of them? From the perspective of this point, you can begin to consider that there is an alternate reality from which you have manufactured your awareness to exist in this physical dimension. But you are so distracted, so identified with the conditions of matter, that many of you can't bring anything new into your life because you're so identified with existing conditions that are only alterable from the perspective of your awareness. And so you cannot move outside of what you know because you are so identified with it. But we know simply if you're able to breathe slowly and deeply and relax your body and quiet your mind, and you move into this place of awareness, and your awareness now suddenly begins to sense, oh, there's sounds out there, there's space around me, and there's things in this space. You are still not moved into the exploration of other dimensions, but you've begun. When you can release your attachment to form, when you can release your attachment to thought, when you can restore yourself to awareness, calm your emotional energy, then you can begin to query, to question, to look and seek for these realms of consciousness that are outside what you think you know to be reality. Remember, you are existing in 4 primary dimensions of matter, of mind, of energy, and of awareness. And I make a distinction between awareness and energy, for the energy sits quiet and still until your awareness interacts with it. And it is the interaction of your awareness with this substance called energy, what we have told this one to call it emotion. It is your interaction with that energy of emotion that sets all things in movement in mind and in matter. So exploring other dimensions becomes a process of getting your mind, your body, your emotional energy still and quiet, and then to inquire, well, where is the source of my awareness originating from? What is the next level up from what I am aware of? What is aware of what I am aware of? In other words, you as awareness are like your thoughts are an extension of your awareness, like your body is an extension of your awareness. These are extensions of you. They are not you. They are extensions of you. Then you are in turn an extension of another aspect of the dimensional self, the multi-dimensional being that you are, that you all are. And in your recognition or pursuit of sensing what that is, the awareness, that which gives you the awareness that you believe is localized to that body and mind you are listening to us from, that exploration begins to open a door. And when you open that door, you have things that you can learn, beings you can communicate with, and experiences that you can have that defy your perception of the material reality. And there are handfuls of you today that are able to access these alternate dimensions and bring information through in the form of observable changes in the conditions of time, space, and matter. But many of you must understand that to get your mind and your body still and quiet, to get your emotional energy still and quiet, then to allow your awareness to explore beyond your thought, beyond matter, beyond emotion. You begin to explore, and it is a vibration, a sensation of being that cannot be defined in the language that you understand in your mind, but can be experienced so that you will understand it as experience. Cool. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Hi, JC. Thank you for that. I don't know why. Something about, she's saying something about a dog. She's saying something about the dog. Don't forget the dog. She's saying, don't forget the dog. Is that an actual dog, or is that something else? She's saying, yeah, Yeah, don't forget. I don't know what she means by that, but she's saying, don't forget the dog. I have no idea what that means, but please let us know what that represents for you. Yeah, she knows she's really, really intense about that. Don't forget the dog. Wow. She's a lovely soul, though. Yeah, yeah. She's saying, I hope she puts a smile on your face. It's certainly putting a smile on mine. Question from Drusilla. Is there any message or information on upgrades? I'm having amazing upgrades. Um, mm, mm, mm. The, um, the vibrational energies that you're engaging, continue to stay with them. The transformative awareness that you are gaining from the effects that you are generating in your condition of time and space are not simply to ameliorate your discomfort, they are to illuminate you as to the understanding of your relationship as a creator of conditions and no more subjective to them. The outstanding information you've requested is coming. It is important that you not get caught up in the symptoms of your results, for that will simply entrap you in the conditions of matter again, but recognizing that you are causing these effects in relationship to your connection to us, then it would be very exciting for you then to understand that growth is something that you can acquire not simply from your material world, but recognizing that you are the orchestrator of conditions in your world. The upgrades will continue. It is important in your meditations that you rest in the temple, high in the temple. They're saying in the high in the temple, it means in the energy that is received and brought down into the body through the pineal gland. There is measurable energy that you can bring down in and through the pineal gland. So go that rest in the temple, high in the temple, when you're doing your meditations. That'll be really helpful for you. Wow, exciting. Yeah, thank you, JC. Thank you, Drusilla. Yes, I just realized too, yeah, the courses are our course is Mediumship 101 course. Thank you for mentioning that, Drusilla. Our Mediumship 101 course begins tomorrow. All those of you that have registered will receive your course manual, the links for the live events for the next 3 weeks, and also for the orientation, where I'm going to look so forward to doing this course with you guys. And we have really amazing mediums that are going to be joining us too. Michael Rolla, Tatiana Hellier, to name a couple. It's Chico, who does our Sun Food Living program, is there. Yes. And Joe Goldsmith. And Joe Goldsmith is a wonderful medium. These are all people you'll be meeting with and getting to know intimately over the next few weeks. Also, for those of you that have already taken the courses and classes, I just discovered a feature on my website that I didn't even know existed, where you can actually write a review about the courses and classes on my website. So if you ever get a chance to swing by the website, please leave a review of the courses that you took. And I really appreciate that very much. These courses are life-changing, and we've been guided by the masters and my guardian angels and archangels to do these courses. We are at a time of ascension in human consciousness where we are becoming liberated from being subjective to matter alone. And it's hard to say that in language. Is different than to experience that in form. When you realize that you can, as Master Jesus said, as you think it, so it shall be, then you become very diligent about what you're going to think and what you're going to believe. Hi, sweetheart. I put your snack in your bowl, okay? Go get your bowl. It's in your bowl. Go in your bowl. It's in your bowl. Go to your bowl. Sorry, the dog is I'm coming out for her 10 o'clock snack. And she doesn't know that I put it in her bowl in advance. Here we go. Wonderful. Marie is asking, I'd like to ask my team what they want me to focus on when I start the mediumship courses. Listening. listening very carefully, more to sensation than language. Listen more to sensation than language. The accessibility to the information we have for you is readily discovered in the sensation as opposed to what you think you might hear with your ears or perceive with your senses. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Metatron. So exploring alternate dimensions. Exploring dimensions is so important. You live in 4 dimensions. While we're in this material world, you have 4 dimensions immediately accessible to you. Your body is 1 dimension. The physical world is 1 dimension. Your mind is thought. It's another dimension of energy. It's not even physical. You can't see it. You can't see thought with your eyes, although you can see the manifestations of thought. You know, buildings and cars and trucks and planes and radios, and we can see the manifestation of thought. You can't actually see thought. It's another dimension that affects this dimension. And then you've got the dimension of energy or emotion. And the dimension of energy and motion works with both thought and matter to produce very specific things. And that's a 3rd dimension, emotion. And the 4th dimension is your awareness. Your awareness is a dimension of energy. You are a dimension of energy, your awareness. When you can, yes, you can start to, you already know the physical dimension. Everybody's familiar with the physical dimension. Most people think it's the only dimension, and it's not. You can't even see your thoughts because they're another dimension of energy. Emotion is another dimension of energy. Awareness is another dimension of energy. And there are dimensions of energy beyond what your awareness exists at, but causative to it. In other words, something causes your awareness to be aware, for you to be able to perceive awareness. And that level takes you into dimensions, the 5th dimension, 6th dimension, and there are many dimensions above that, as there are many dimensions below this. We're not interested in the ones below. We're only interested in exploring the ones above, because from the ones above, you can bring down information, communication, ideation that will reorganize the conditions of your material world very differently than the current ways you believe you can. Oh, thank you for that, Drusilla. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. I love seeing you in the 102 again, Drusilla. Yeah, if any repeat students, only $99 for repeat students to take each of our courses. $9 for each of the course. Yes, thank you. Hi, Blaine. For Metatron, please, could you explain how higher selves work? How can we be connected to others, other independently thinking beings? Well, first of all, you must understand that the perspective of awareness that you have individually is what keeps you separate from the experience of other individuals collectively. There is no separateness. When you move into the higher frequencies of consciousness, the need for separateness diminishes by the law of the inverse square. The need for separateness diminishes by the law of the inverse square in terms of a movement of consciousness, not simply a practical application of physics, but an actual movement in consciousness further away from the densities of matter into the less dense elements of consciousness that transcend what you call awareness as you understand it to be. Well, good morning, everybody. Hello, Colorado. Wow. Question from Tanya. Will my dog, Fifali, who I left in France and who has been long dead, ever come back to me in this lifetime? She was my first encounter with unconditional love, and I miss her very much. First of all, the energy I'm getting immediately is you have not asked them to come back yet. You've yearned for them, and in your yearning you have kept separation, but you have not invited them back in. If you do this, she'll come back very quickly. But you must also be willing to accept it when it comes. It may come, yes. It may come in the familiar that you remember, and it may come in a very different form altogether. But the invitation is required. You yearn for something that was once before, and so it remains before. It cannot be now if it was before. You yearn and long for something that was before. It cannot be in the now. It cannot be received in the now because you yearn for it before. And so you keep it before. It is past. It is there. And so you cannot receive it again in the present at a higher expression of itself. This is a common thing that comes up when people or animals leave our life. The form changes. And we open up to the opportunity. We can think we are missing or we've lost something or someone. And from that perspective, we keep the opportunity to experience that relationship at a higher level disconnected from us because we think, oh, they're gone or they've left. I don't have them anymore. And this is an error of perception that keeps you from receiving that relationship at a higher level. So some of you may be married to somebody for 20 or 30 years and God forbid they have an accident and they leave their body prematurely. And you think you've lost something terrible. You're doing yourself a great disservice. They have not ended their existence. Their form at that time changed. The opportunity to receive something equal or greater to that becomes available. You're walking along the side of an ocean on the sand and you put a footprint in the sand, and as you step over it, the water fills it instantly. And when people leave our lives physiologically, when they leave the physical dimension, there is an impression that's left in our lives that can be filled by something equal to or greater than that which was, when we're of the awareness that that is the possibility that exists for us. So with regard to your beautiful friend who is at a higher level of functionality because of the experiences that they did have with you, the unconditional love that you experienced with them exists at a higher level. And you think that that was the only one, so that will be the only one until you say, oh, wait, I can receive that, and I'm now open to receiving this unconditional love now at the level that I can receive it at now. And you'll be surprised. Don't be surprised if somebody shows up with an animal to give you, or a new person comes to your life, or a new circumstance. But it's important we get so, while we're stuck in these bodies, well, not stuck, but while we're in these bodies, a lot of people think that the physical world is all there is. And that when things change here, that's a bad thing. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. When things change, greater opportunities open up. We got this conceptions about what we think or believe death is, and very few understand what it really is. They only understand that the individual that has died, they think is gone. They think that body is who they are. It's not who they are. It was just a mechanism through which they expressed. The consciousness, the awareness exists still. And you can receive it back into your life at a higher level. You come in to learn, you gain experience, wisdom, and knowledge for this physical mechanism to whatever degree you can allow. And then when you have enough, when you've learned the lesson, you release the form and you come back at a higher level of expression. Right? It's very fascinating. Yes. It's fun when you watch somebody leave the body. I watched my father, my biological father, leave his body about 5 years ago, and literally watched as he spoke to me on the phone about 15 hours before and said, I'm going to leave. I'm not sticking around. So you won't hear my voice again. So literally he hung up the phone. That was the last time he was able to speak through his body. And I went up to the hospital in Newmarket, Ontario to see him before he left the physical body. And the body was unconscious. There was no way for it to respond to me through words. So I communicated in thought to him. I said, Dad, you don't owe me anything. You don't owe anybody anything. Just know that you're loved and you're free to go. And as I spoke these words, literally this spiral of sparkly light started to come out his forehead. And my sister Patty, who was with me, looked at it when she was shocked. She burst into tears as she saw this energy come out. And she had never seen anything like that in her life before. Your body, the body of anybody, is not who they are. It's simply the instrument of expression for that individual awareness at that time. And when you open up to the possibilities of what's coming into my life at a higher level than what I had, it's pretty amazing what can come into your life. It really is. It really, really is. Thank you. Let's see what else we got here. Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Blaine. I really appreciate that. Awesome. And thank you. A question from SJJ. How can I get my dog, Misha, to understand that she doesn't need to charge and attack dogs and people that she is afraid of? Oh, that's a good question. Wow. Her higher self is telling me she cherishes you so much and those that she's close to. She cherishes, yes, she's highly protective of you and those she's connected to. Highly protective. This is not an act to do anything other than demonstrate love. If you find yourself observing this behavior, you need to take her and gently look her in the eyes and communicate that you understand she loves you and she doesn't need to demonstrate her love in this fashion. Yes, look her in the eyes when you sense that behavior is going to happen. Look her in the eyes and communicate that you know she loves you. She does not need to express her love in this way anymore, that you know she loves you. She needs you to know that you know how much she loves you. Once she knows that you know, she will not feel so threatened. She won't feel that instinctual need to protect. So communicate to her that you know she loves you. Every time, just prior, when you know or sense that's going to happen, stop, get down, look her in the eyes, and communicate to her how much you love her and that you know she loves you. Let her know you know she loves you. She doesn't need to express her love that way anymore. And do that every time for the next week, and you'll see a change in the behavior start to happen, because she'll start to feel safe around you because she knows that you know that she loves you. She won't have to demonstrate it that way anymore. It's very fascinating. Interesting. Never had anybody have their dog's higher self come through before. That's fun. Oh, you're welcome, Tanya. Question from Carolyn. May I ask Archangel Metatron for a message today? Thank you. Well, if what I have provided thus far is insufficient, then what would be pleasing to you? You're asking for something specific to you, but what I have said is specific to everyone. So few of you understand how to make that distinction between your bodies, your mind, your emotions, and your awareness. Very few of you can get that system so still that you can begin to explore these other realms where you can easily hear all you can hear, easily see that which you can see. Yes, there is guidance that is waiting for you. There's guidance waiting for you in the silence, in that place where your mind and body are not your reference point for seeking comprehension or understanding. Move beyond the confines of your thoughts, your emotions, and your body into the awareness, the sensing awareness that allows you to know and not simply think or remember. The awareness that is you, that allows you to know. Wow. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Question from Tina. I have broken 3 glass jars over the last 2 weeks. I get that I am shattering deep-seated limiting beliefs. Can Metatron speak on this? The first words he's saying to me is, you need to be more careful when you are working with glass. You do not need to find such inappropriate ways to hurt yourself for refusing to let go of what has made you suffer. You simply have to sit down and make a decision to let go of the emotion that you experience after each jar breaks is the emotion that has been causing this event to unfold. The emotion you feel, that disappointment, that anger, and that sadness that you need to release. I recommend that you do this before you go into your kitchen, make a decision to release your anger, your sadness, and your disappointment from your mind, your body, from your emotional field. To align yourself to vibrations of contentment and peacefulness. And you will find this will never occur that way again. Understand, you cannot have an effect in your material realm without the energy in your field to cause that. Thank you. That's a great question, Tina. Yeah, don't let those energies in. That way, release and let go. Crotchet Goddess, do my guides have any messages? Wow. They're showing me a bowl of fruit. There's something about you have to eat some more live fruit days. They're showing me like a big bowl of like oranges and peaches and lemons. Live food, like really go deliciously into live food today. Living food. Cool. Got time for one more question from Galactic Goddess of Healing. I have seen special symbols in my dreams last night. I asked what it is, and I heard it's a symbol warrior of light, and it looks like a Chinese symbol. What does this mean for me? Why my angels show this? Because you're ready to feel it. Again, your mind seeks to understand things in this dimension from this dimension, but what you are receiving is symbolic energy. It is the energy of the symbol that you need to feel in order to integrate and receive the dialogue that will come with it. You need to feel the energy of the symbol. Your mind loves to try and figure things out. It likes to think it is smart, and so it sees something that's outside of what it knows, and it wants to be smart and figure it out. And simply, you do not need to figure it out. You need to feel the energy, the vitality, the information that is communicated to you through that symbol. And you will find yourself liberated much faster than you think. That's a very fascinating thing that we do that, right? It is. It's really fascinating when you consider that we try to figure things out with what we know all the time, and so something new comes into our life or a different experience happens, and we try to figure it out with what we already know, and all that simply does is helps us repackage this new thing into the format of what we already know. So we just get variations on a theme, and we're not here to live a life of monotony. We're here to experience a life of creating, dynamic, wondrous creating. And until you're liberated from your body and liberated from your mind and able to open up to higher knowledge, your guides, your angels, the ascended masters, the Pleiadians, the beings that have mastered time, space, and matter beyond what you have are awaiting you to listen, sense, and feel their presence and learn from them. You can't learn more from what you already know. You can only learn more from what you do not know. So open up to it. I encourage you to go to my website and register for Mediumship 101 today. The orientation class starts tomorrow. I'm going to look forward to everybody that's going to be in there tomorrow. I want to say thank you, everybody, for your time, your patience, your energy today. Yes. And remember, get your mind and your body still, quiet, peaceful. Get your emotions calm. Become aware of your awareness. Allow yourself to consider, from where does my awareness come? Where do I receive my awareness from? You have been conditioned to believe you receive your light, your life, your awareness from matter, but it is matter that receives the light and the energy and awareness from you. You are the light that shines through the form, but you as light have another light shining into you that you may know that you are. I want to wish you all a wonderful, joy-filled day. We will see you on Supernatural Saturday, 11:30, and I will see the students for Mediumship 101 course at the orientation tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. All the information, your study guide, everything will be provided for you in your email today. So much love to all of you. Have a wonderful and a joyful day. And thank you, everybody, for contributing your support. If you want to support these messages, please become a member of my Patreon page at patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. And remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it out. Have yourselves a wonderful, joyful day. Bye for now.